8:42 in the morning here on Baz and Izzy for breakfast on SCNZ. We're in the final furlong of our show before we wing our way to the beautiful Central Otago and Queenstown. Some other great areas and conversations and topics to chat about is property, and the property market is hot at the moment. It's real hot down in Ahoka, where we're seeing net worths of individuals skyrocket at the moment. But alongside sport and weather and punting, of course, property remains the other hot topic of conversation no matter where you are across New Zealand. Joining us today is investment coach Debbie from Property Apprentice to discuss the riskiest sectors of New Zealand's property market in the current climate. Good morning, Debbie. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, guys. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Right, come on, let's get right into it. There's a lot of talk about buying new builds because of the tax benefits. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, so we're talking to people every day that are looking at investing in new builds, and it's because, the combination of low deposit requirements from the Reserve Bank restrictions and obviously the tax benefits, the interest on the mortgage is still tax deductible if it's going to be a rental. So that's really encouraging people into that one sector in the property market, which it's just pushing prices up even faster in that sector than we can cope with, and combine that with the shortage of building materials that we've got, that's just a bit of a cluster. So I do see that as being potentially the riskiest sector of the property market at the moment, because all it's going to take is for the property market to have a bit of a hiccup and there'll be blood in the water. There's always developers that go broke in each property cycle. So I think if you're looking at purchasing a new build, whether it's for a home or an investment property, make sure you do thorough due diligence on the developer and get your lawyer to check the build contract before you sign it, because they've got clever little things in there like sunset clauses, which means that the developer can cancel the contract if prices increase, so you don't want to be stuck in that sort of situation. Also, the delayed completion times can cause a real issue when we've got situations of bank lending rules changing quite frequently at the moment and lending getting tighter. So, yeah, there's different levels of risk there. On that lending side, actually, you can get a pre-approval for lending to purchase a new build, but if it's something like a turnkey deal where you just pay a low deposit and then the balance on completion, some of these developers have got their build times extended out for a couple of years because they've sold all of their product for the next 2 years in advance. So, you can't get a pre-approval to last that long. So it'd mean that you'd have to reapply for finance, and with bank rules changing regularly, you might not actually qualify for lending when you need to sell it. So, it's a bit of an issue. If you're looking at house and land packages, that's a much lower risk when it comes to getting finance.
Well, that's interesting, Debbie. Hey, yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, you got risk versus reward. I reckon. Hey, talk to us about the shortage in materials and the shortage of supplies out there at the moment. A lot of builders talking to me, it's taking forever to get supplies, and the current rates with interest rates, the unknown aspect of interest rates and banks. How is it having an impact on the housing market at the moment? Is it slowing down?
There are parts of the property market across the country which are starting to slow down. In the new build market, not yet. There's just, like I said, everyone just seems to assume that because of the tax benefits, if you're going to buy an investment property, new builds are the way to go. But because of the increased demand, prices have just skyrocketed. So it means that the rental return in new builds is really low. And what a lot of people don't understand is that in 2018, when the government introduced ring fencing of tax losses, the tax benefits aren't going to help you with your cash flow. So, new builds now, we're finding that on average they're all less than 4% gross yield, which means that if we've got interest rates of 4% and increasing, that cash flow is going to absolutely hemorrhage. You'll be topping that up and you're not going to get a refund from the government at the end of the financial year. So I think for a lot of people, it's not going to be until they get their financials done at the end of the year that they're going to think, hang on a second, where's my money that's supposed to help with these tax benefits? Because they're just not going to get it.
Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us, Debbie, on Baz and Izzy for breakfast here on SENZ. That is Debbie from the Property Apprentice, helping Kiwis create better retirement plans. Register for a free online training session. Text ticket to 268 or visit propertyapprentice.co.nz. Some food for thought for you and I in there as well. Izzy,